Bienvenue à tous. This is our international press review in the papers. James Creek is here. James, just read my horoscope in the Parisien here. It says, ne soyez pas trop dur avec vos amis. Don't be too tough on your friends. And as you're a friend of mine...
But don't be too tough on me.
I'll let you start wherever you want. Go ahead.
OK, well, we're starting with Libération. It's all grim and sad.
It's again more about Gaza.
More about Gaza, and more photos coming out from the inside. And there's an interesting editorial where they're very damning, really. They're saying that there's insensitivity on all sides of this conflict. There's insensitivity in Israel for cold, clinical military planning, where they're going into one of the most populous zones in the world, knowing full well that the civilian casualties will be huge, no matter how precise the bombings are. On the other side, you have Hamas, who have been firing rockets into Israel, knowing that they're not in a position to defend their own population from the inevitable return of fire from Israel. So really damning of insensitivity on both sides. Now, in Lebanese newspaper L'Orient Le Jour, there is an interview with French researcher Alain Diakov on Gaza again, and he's saying, contrary to what a lot of people have been saying about this conflict, where they're saying Israel is trying to just obliterate Hamas, get rid of them entirely, he's saying that's probably not the case, because it's preferable for Israel to have a weakened Hamas than to have no Hamas at all, because the alternative would be an Iraq-style scenario where there's a power vacuum and Israel would have to stay in there to try to kind of keep control, because otherwise you'd have anarchy and you'd have maybe even more extreme groups that are more of Al-Qaeda kind of philosophy taking hold inside in the Gaza Strip. So for him, it's preferable to have a weakened Hamas than no Hamas at all.
Interesting take on the story.
Yeah, which is not what a lot of people are actually saying about it. And now, moving to Le Monde, they're also talking about Gaza, but from a slightly different angle. Damned subject, they're saying, and it has been exactly that for all of the media in France and around the world. A lot of websites have had to close down their comment boards, close down their blogs, because the comments are just so incendiary on both sides. You know, you have anti-Semitic comments, anti-Muslim comments a lot of the time against the newspaper for the angle that they're taking. And so Le Monde is saying that it has had just a spate of negative comments. A number of them actually risking or threatening to bomb the newspaper's offices.
What's the cartoon we're seeing there?
The cartoon is on the same page, actually, as that. And this is about all the bad news, basically, in the papers at the moment. So you have this guy who, is seeing all this bad news, and he decides, look, I've had enough. I want to end it all. So he sticks his head in the oven, only to discover that there's no more gas.
Of course, the gas has been cut off.
The gas has been cut. So it's just
more Russia-Ukraine dispute. So
more and more bad news.
Dark humour there in that cartoon.
Exactly.
What have you got next?
And the title of that is actually Anxiety. And if you're not anxious enough after all that news, have a look at this story in The Australian. It's about a spate of shark attacks lately in Australia. And this poor guy on the front page, everyone survived in these recent attacks, which is a bit of good news. But there was one 13-year-old girl in Tasmania, and she was attacked by a 5-metre white pointer shark who latched onto her leg. Her cousin swam out to save her, and the shark followed them back to shore, circling around the surfboard the whole time, took a big chunk out of the surfboard.
Wow.
But luckily they all survived. Now, another part of Australia, more shark-infested waters, is an article in The Independent advertising the best job in the world, apparently.
The best job in the world?
The best job in the world.
I thought you had the best job in the world.
I thought you had the best job in the world, but apparently...
Tell us about this best job in the world, then.
You have to be caretaker for a paradise island in Queensland. You're paid 150,000 Australian dollars. All you have to do is write a once fortnightly blog about your adventures around the island. You're living in a $5 million mansion with a jet ski, a yacht and the whole lot. Applications close on the 22nd of February, Mark, if you want to get your 1-minute video in there.
Day after my birthday, I might even just bung in a CV. Who knows? Great stuff. James, thank you very much for that international press view. We hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for joining us. Stay with France 24.
President of the United States.
Power and the glory and the majesty.
I will, to the best of my ability.
I will faithfully execute the President of the United States.
So help me God.
On January 20th, Barack Obama will be sworn in to become the first black president of the United States of America. A presidency that has sparked an unprecedented movement of hope. Watch this historic inauguration live on France 24 with our teams on the ground. And relive the dream of Martin Luther King as one of his most celebrated heirs is crowned. Be part of the sights, sounds, reactions, and analysis. Book your front row seat for this unique event with France 24.